Talk about all things fire and fire hazards and your responsibilities as a property owner. Matty joins me today from NT Fire and Rescue. Good to have you on board, mate. Thanks for coming out here.
No, thank you for having us.
Our pleasure, our pleasure. It is that time of the year. We've had some pretty, we had a pretty busy start to the year as far as not fires, but the thing that fuels the fires, and that is the wet.
Yep.
You know, and that gets you guys nervous every year.
It does indeed.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about what we're talking about today when it comes to the responsibility of the average homeowner and particularly the rural block owner in Alice Springs and the surrounds.
Certainly. So for a bit of history, back in 2009 to 2011, we had a very similar pattern of weather systems coming through. So we've had a lot of rain over the last 3 years, which has built up the fuel loads, both rurally and residentially.
Yep.
And we've been doing a lot of messaging around reducing those loads and trying to build a more resilient community and support being able to attack and protect structures.
Because we only have a finite resource in fireys in this town. And, you know, you guys lean on the likes of NT Bushfires and yourselves and NT Fire and Rescue. Everyone has to pull together, the volleys as well.
Most definitely.
And so, look, now's the time to start managing your buffel grass on your property. And how are people best going to, I guess, identify what their fire break is and whether they are in an area of danger at the moment? There's some basic rules that you guys have set out that people should follow as a guideline, but ultimately fire breaks comes down to the property owner's responsibility. Is that right?
That's exactly right. And it works. It's across government as well.
Right.
So I've been doing a lot of work with the likes of Rail, Dipple, Vacant Crown Lands, our Aboriginal corporations to help build up that community resilience.
Yes.
And provide decent fire breaks to allow the fire service to get in and manage when fires do come through.
Matty, is there a particular time of the year when things start to get really dangerous? Now, of course, we always talk about summertime, and that's the worst time because it's where the sun is at its absolute peak, and therefore you've also got the consideration of the windiest time of the year. So when you get that, to coin the phrase, the perfect storm of conditions is when you've got extreme heat and then extreme winds. And is that falling into a particular kind of time of the year? Is it September through to December? Is it December through to January next year? Is it now until September? What's historically the danger, the real serious danger period?
Historically, you're correct. It's normally September through to December.
Yeah.
But what we've seen recently in the recent years is pretty much it'll start from late August. That's when we get the big winds in. They'll turn more northerly, so the hot winds. And they do two things. One, they dry out the vegetation and the soil moisture in the ground. And two, obviously, they encourage it along.
Off we go. Now, one way in which you can save yourself, your neighbours as well, because this just doesn't come down to the homeowner, it comes down to the homeowner and the homeowner's neighbours, because everyone must help everyone. The basic rule and rule of thumb is 8 metres, okay? And so 8 metres around structure, property, or asset structures.
Perfect.
And then 4 metres at your property, I guess, perimeter. Which, when applied to your neighbours, their 4 metres meets your 4 metres, and that gives everyone an 8 metre buffer. So was that about where we are?
No, certainly. And like we said earlier, it's around building that community resilience. Fires happen. We know they happen.
Of course,
and if it starts on your property, you're protecting your neighbours by having that fire break in, and vice versa. So,
what's the best way to try and what's the best way to implement a fire break? Now, I've heard of some folks who would like to burn a fire break around their property. That's possible, but you do have to use a fair degree of diligence with that, and that is something that comes down to approaching NT Fire and Rescue for a permit. Is that right?
No.
Not this time of the year?
That is, we can do permit to burns for contained piles of green waste and refuse and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We certainly don't recommend you burning in fire breaks at all. My personal preference is mineral earth or bare earth. So grader, bobcat, whatever. Obviously, we understand that that's quite expensive, so we accept slashing as long as the grass is no longer than 50 mil or 5 centimetres high, and that the slashed grass is removed from that break.
Right here. As far as the storage of flammables and other materials go, are there any special expectations as far as that goes, or that's just up to the discretion of the property owner?
No, we do recommend that there isn't a large build-up of combustible materials and or flammable materials. Obviously, that creates its own risk.
Oh, absolutely.
And, seeming around cars and stuff like that, or people might have heavy machinery that's been sitting there for a fair while.
Which in and of themselves have combustibles within them in their tanks and stuff like that,
So, but like you said earlier, we're really recommending people get in, try and reduce the buffle, and at least have contained breaks around their assets.
All right. If people want to find out more about where they can get this information in an easy to follow and mentally digestible form, like in able to sort of like know this is the clear outlines of what needs to be done. Is there like a I don't know, like a Facebook page or a website people can go to follow? They just have a look and see.
I'm actually unaware of that.
Yeah, all right.
At the moment, we've just got so we've got an email address that people can contact us on.
Yeah,
and also the local phone number if they want to get information and stuff like that.
All right.
So what we're finding at the minute is due to the high fuel loads, all the normal contractors that do the works are under the pump.
Okay.
So it's been delayed a bit, so the more people can do, the better.
Absolutely. So don't leave it till the last minute, because obviously the longer you leave it, the warmer the weather gets, the less comfortable it is to do it. Now, while we've got the lovely cool weather in the outback of Australia, even every weekend, a little bit here, a little bit there, it all adds to the final result, which is, as you say, building up community resilience. In the meantime, if people want to find out more information, they can get in touch with you guys. What's the best way to do that? At what number?
Number is 8951 6688.
8951 6688.
Yep.
Okay. NT Fire and Rescue, thank you for coming in, Matt, and telling us all about the much needed diligence everyone needs to put into place right now. It's going to be another hot summer coming. In fact, I think it's El Nino this year. So El Nino
is leaning that way at the moment.
Yeah, it's historically it's going to be hot, windy, and just bloody difficult for everyone involved. So I think the best thing to do is just, as they say, for those who fail to prepare to fail.
That's a good saying.
I think it's one we'll go with and leave on. And thanks so much for coming in, Matt, and good luck to all the firers. We really appreciate your service that you provide to our community over all parts of the year, not just the most dangerous.
Thank you very much for having me.